Good evening. It's time for another conversation. I had a situation a few weeks ago. My son was asking me to go out of town with him, and I kept making excuses. Every year he would ask me, Mama, come go with me out of town for Christmas. Every year I would make it up an excuse. Really didn't have a reason why I wasn't going. I just would make up an excuse. So I thought about it this year. Why is it I really not going? And basically it was like I'm used to sitting here cooking dinner on Christmas Day and being comfortable. And I didn't want to be taken out of my comfort zone. So why do we make excuses? Why do we put off for tomorrow what we can do today? I know you've heard that. It sounds familiar. We put off a task or we'll start a task or we'll get in the middle of something and we'll get bored and then tell ourselves, oh, we can wait. It really wasn't that important. Have you ever noticed during the day how many times you make an excuse for something? I know I have. And I told y'all I teach, so I hear so many excuses all day long. I couldn't do this, and I didn't understand this, and I didn't. So we make excuses until to the point where they become a habit. We make excuses for everything, and they're really just a waste of time because at some point in time, you're going to have to come back and face the task. Excuses are like a crutch. Everybody knows what a crutch is. A crutch supports you. A crutch supports you until you feel better, until you get healed. So do excuses. An excuse will help you face that fear or help you get past that fear until you're ready or that doubt. So, what are some reasons? There's a scripture in the Bible, Luke 14:18 through 20. It says, but they all alike began to make excuses. The first said, I have just bought a field and I must go and see it. Please excuse me. The second one said, I have just bought 5 yoke of oxen and I'm on my way to try them out. Please excuse me. Still another one said, I got married, so I can't come. Excuses. Excuses. We are all plagued with excuses. So let's talk about some of the reasons that we make excuses. For one thing, we're fearful of the outcome. You may fear a negative consequence. The consequence could be real or it could be imagined. It could be in your head. You have no idea of the outcome, but you've made up in your mind, I don't want to do that because I heard somebody else say that that wasn't going to work. Fear of being disappointed. Who wants to be disappointed? So rather than be disappointed, I just won't be a part of it. I'll just leave that to somebody else. And I know that's one of my biggest problems. Why get into it when it may not turn out like I want to? So there's a fear of disappointment. Excuses help us to avoid responsibility. Mm. Excuses help us to avoid responsibility. So you can say it was somebody else's fault. You can blame somebody else, and you really don't have to deal with the situation. Oh, they did that. Oh, no, I didn't really do that. They made me do it. I didn't want to do it, but somebody else made me do it. If they hadn't kept whispering in my ears, I wouldn't have done what I did. You make up excuses. Another one is we use excuses to protect ourselves when we can't face a problem. Okay. We put off dealing with the issue, hoping that everything will work it out. We just keep putting, well, I'm going to lose weight. hmm I'm going to lose weight when after the winter. I'm going to lose weight when I have to do this, or um, I don't really have to do that right now. I'm not going to take care of that situation right now. I'm just going to wait because we don't want to face the problem because facing the problem means you got to deal with it and you got to work it out to the end. So we just make an excuse. We make excuses to keep our self-esteem intact. Excuse me. We make excuses to keep our self-esteem intact. You can't let somebody know that you really can't read or that you really didn't understand or that you really don't know how to do what it is they're asking you to do. And rather than face that inadequacy in ourselves, we make up an excuse. because then that would make me look bad. My students do that too. I'll give them something to do and they'll tell me, oh, it's something wrong that I did. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but sometimes I'm knowing, no, I explained it, but you just don't want to tell me you don't understand. We do that because we want to keep ourselves intact and we want to feel good about ourselves. So we just make up an excuse. We sometimes make excuses because we want to avoid discomfort. I don't want to go to the doctor. Oh, I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling much better. Oh, I'm not sick anymore. No, head still hurt, knowing you got a sinus headache or something, the chest about to boil over. But you won't go to the doctor because you've made up an excuse. I'll feel better in a few days. I'm gonna take some Tylenol, or I'm gonna take an ibuprofen, or I'm gonna take something for this cold, and I'm gonna get better. So we make up an excuse because you don't know what the doctor's gonna say, and you're gonna deal with the issue right here on your own. But all you're doing is putting off the inevitable. Hmm. So we make up an excuse why we don't have to deal with the issue. Something's going on in your body and you really need to check it out. But you make up an excuse and tell everybody it's okay. And a lot of times that excuse can be detrimental to your health. No more excuses. And the number one thing I hear most people do, I hate it, is when they make up an excuse because you just want attention. Or you want attention or self-pity and you're feeling sorry for yourself. So you make it an excuse why you can't do something rather than just saying, I need some attention. It's okay. I need some attention. I need somebody to do something for me. So we continue to do and go through these things we don't need to. We're all human. And you know what? We don't owe anybody anything. If you don't want to do something, all you got to do is say no. It's a complete sentence. We make excuses when we don't want to commit. Rather than just saying, I don't want to do it, you make up an excuse. You tell yourself, it's okay. I'll get back with them. No, just tell them no from the jump street and you don't have to deal with it. Rather than speaking up and putting the other person, telling them, be truthful. Rather than just put your feelings out there so you don't have to say it. I really just can't do that right now. It's not working out for me. I don't have the money. But we make up an excuse until we can't do it anymore. And you know what I've learned? When you make up that excuse and you come back, you're harder on yourself than you have to be. You're blaming yourself when you don't have to. Because we don't owe anybody but God. He's the only responsibility, the person we owe that responsibility to. He's the only person that we have to answer to. And in the end, you got to feel good about yourself. You have to feel good about yourself. So making up the excuse, no, I can't do that right now. I just can't do it. So let's take a few minutes and talk about some remedies for making excuses. It begins with you taking a hard look at yourself. I know I did. I just I looked at myself and said, I don't want to keep doing that. I don't want to be in a situation where I really don't want to be in that situation. And better, rather than being in that situation and being uncomfortable, just speak up. I don't really want to do that. So let's talk about self awareness. Self awareness is becoming conscious of the fact that you make excuses, that you are making excuses for something that you don't want to do, or something that you feel is too hard for you, or it's just not the time. Stop and reflect before you make up an excuse. Stop. Stop. Is this really what I want to do? Why am I doing this? You don't owe anyone an answer other than yourself. You alone have to be happy with the situation. You have to be happy with the outcome. You are in complete control of your destiny and the purpose that God has put on your life. Nobody can make that decision for you. It's left up to you. It may be hard, but it's left up to you, you and God alone. And when you get by yourself and you look back, you don't want to be upset with yourself because you didn't put yourself first. And it's as hard as it may be sometimes. Now, maybe it's not a problem for sometimes, but I'm a people person and I have a tendency to be a people pleaser. Mm. And I had to admit that. So I would make excuses when I really didn't want to do something. I would make an excuse for it. Can't do it. No, can't just, it's time. It's time out for those things. So step back. Another remedy would be to step back and get a change in your perspective, or look at it a different way. How are you viewing the situation? Before you make an excuse about it, maybe it's something that you really do need to do, and you really need to look at it. Okay, change your perspective. I can't talk tonight. Step back and look at the situation from another angle. Excuse me. Maybe you made the problem out to be more than it is. Maybe you made a mountain out of a molehill, and you really need to step back and look at it again. And the last remedy, what are your beliefs? Challenge your beliefs about the situation. What is it I'm believing in? Okay. What is this? Is this something somebody's told me? Or is it in the word? Challenge it. Look for it. Get an answer for it. What beliefs or misconceptions do you have about a situation that you really haven't looked at or you haven't focused on? It's time. We're all at a point in our lives, so we we're going into a new year. We're not getting any younger, we're getting older. So it's time for us to be intent and be intentional about the things that we do, about the things, the places that we go, the things that we do, and the reasons why we're doing the things that we do. Life is too short to go around making excuses for things and for things that just you don't really have to, you know? When you have a decision that you have to face, and I'm by far no expert, sit down and weigh it out. And if it's something that you really can't do right now, okay, I really can't do that now. Maybe I can help you with that in the future. Or maybe this is just not the right time. But anyway, I'm not going to make up an excuse. It's best to just go ahead and tell the person. It stop all that anxiety and all that worry. And when the person comes back to you, you have to give them another excuse rather than just saying, okay, not right now, maybe in the future. So we have the reasons. Now you have the remedies. Self-awareness. We're going to be aware of what we're saying and what we're doing. We're going to get a new viewpoint. Talk to somebody that you trust. You know what? I'm dealing with this, and before I tell them no or before I make an excuse, what do you think on it? If it's somebody you trust and that they care about you and they're going to tell you the truth. Okay? What are your beliefs? I told you my son was inviting me out of town for Christmas. Well, in my mind, you're supposed to be at home for the holidays. hmm You're supposed to be at home. So in my mind, no, oh no, I'm supposed to be here at the house. Well, if he's gonna be out of town and he is my family, I was just gonna be here by myself. So why not go and take a chance and go someplace else? But the rest of my family will be here when I get back. But that was just my belief. You know, I should be at home. Maybe my sisters or my brothers or somebody would need me, but I have had an opportunity to do something new. Maybe that's not your problem. Maybe you have something else that you're dealing with. But I'm just telling you, at that point in time, going out of town for Christmas was taking me out of my comfort zone. Now I can't wait. I can't wait because I get to spend a whole week away from home. Yes, for the holidays, and I'm excited about it. Hmm. What are some of the things that you need to challenge yourself about? What are some excuses that you're making, and you've been doing it for years? I told you guys in another video that I'm working on my weight, and I am, and it's going pretty good. It's going really well. I've lost a few pounds. And I'm going to continue to do so. I can't make any more excuses. Challenge yourself, challenge your beliefs. Talk to somebody about it. Get a new perspective. Self awareness. Work on what your beliefs are. Work on what you're thinking about a situation. I guarantee you it's going to help you in the long run. We can't continue to make excuses. We don't have time. Until the next conversation, this is Denise Montgomery. I'm putting the videos up on YouTube. Check out my channel. It's Denise Montgomery. Until the next time, don't worry about those excuses. Just wait a while, think about it, work it out, and move forward. Let that crutch go. It's time to let the crutch go. We don't need them anymore. Crutches are for sick people. We're trying to get better. And we're looking forward to 2024. No more excuses in 2024. We're going to grab it by the horns and we're going to move forward. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave me a comment. I would appreciate it. I'd appreciate any feedback you give me. Thank you so much. God bless.